All right, guys. So let's move on to our next headline here with the Mets. Earlier this week, it was reported by MLB Network's John Morosi that the Rockies would like to engage in trade talks with the Mets regarding star third baseman Nolan Arenado. He is owed $35 million in 2021, and if he doesn't exercise his opt-out clause after next season, he's going to be owed $164 million through 2026. Now, obviously, we know a lot of teams, the Mets are lucky in the fact they got a new owner because a lot of teams are strapped for cash. What do you guys think about this reported desire for the Rockies to engage with the Mets? Do you think Arenado fits the Mets? What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, let's put this issue to bed right now, okay? Yes, I come from a Mets family and Yankees family. I'm a product of both. But if I have to pick a team, it is the Mets. I said it, and I've put this to bed.
What is that in Romeo and Juliet? It's like the Capulets and the what are those other family that Montagues? That's what this is like.
Yeah.
The families don't mix. All right, it's just not going to work out. But go ahead, though. We're gonna cut you some slack. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you've turned my whole sports fandom into Shakespearean literature, which
That's
is
what I do. I got to bring the references.
that's absurd. That's completely absurd. But I love it. Anyways, I think if the Mets can pull off this trade shrewdly and not too far into excess, then I'm for it. But I think part of what was great about having Steve Cohen in the picture is that there's money to be spent. So if I'm the Mets, if you can't get a blockbuster steal of a deal to get Nolan Arenado, I just focus on the free agent market, at least for this year. I've said this on the show a couple times before, but to me, all Steve Cohen has to do this offseason is make one big free agent acquisition to show me and show all Mets fans that he is serious when he says 3 to 5 years. That's all he has to do. More, great. But from my perspective, I think, if you can get a really great deal on Nolan Arenado and you don't have to sacrifice too much, that's fantastic. But you got a good core of guys that can win very soon. Why not just sign somebody? You got the money.
Yeah, and I think Sandy Alderson said that. I mean, he's like, I'd rather sign people than trade because, look, our farm system's depleted from Brody and all the mess that was there. We have a lot of money. So let's go out and sign people. And that's why I wouldn't go out and get Arenado. The one thing I do want to say, I was like, when was the time where teams would go to the Mets to try to trade them their stars?
Never.
I mean, that's something that to me, that got me excited. Like, I mean, I wouldn't want Arenado just because that opt-out clause scares me because, like, let's say you give up a lot for him and then he opts out and supposedly he really wants to go to like the Dodgers. So that would really stink to have him really only get him 1 year. That's why I like a guy like Lindor more because, you're hoping that you can trade for him and then sign him. And then he's your franchise guy for a long time. That's kind of the route I would go. But I think free agent first. And just because I'd rather give a guy money than giving up probably money and then also prospects on top of it. So that's just where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I would just say this is where it comes to me with Aaron. I think if we're debating a Francisco Lindor versus Nolan Arenado trade, I think Arenado fits the Mets better. They have a need at third base. You won't have to, unless he was in the trade, which I really hope he's not, you wouldn't have to move Jimenez from short. I love Jimenez. I think that guy is a stud defensively. He's got some potential in that bat. I really enjoyed watching him last season. It was only 60 games, so who knows? But I think Arenado fits the Mets better, but I think Lindor is the better player. And also when you get Lindor, there's not a fear of, is he going to translate? We're not at Coors Field anymore, and I don't have the slashes in front of me, but I know off the top of my head that, maybe the home run numbers are okay, but the average definitely for Arenado drops after leaving Coors Field, and that's a concern for me. I know DJ LeMahieu, but you look at his career with the Rockies, he always had a nice home road split. Arenado, I don't see that as much, and I understand my power out of third base, but I'm sorry, I'm sick and tired of getting the Todd Fraziers of the world who hit 212, but maybe they'll get a few home runs. I want a guy that can consistently hit. So I'm honestly more inclined to get Lindor. I know that it's going to contribute more to the problem the Mets have of playing guys who are not defensively the strongest because you'd put Lindor at short, and then I really want to keep Jimenez. So assuming you kept him, you'd have to move him to third, or you'd have to put him at second and put McNeil at third, and we know he's not the strongest there. But I think either way, if you're trading for either guy, I'm not going to complain, first of all. They're both great talents. I just like Lindor a little more. And but the other thing is, the Mets have this asset of they have cash, and Steve Cohen, unlike the other owners, wasn't impacted by this no fans this season, revenue down, because he wasn't in the league. Now he is. He's bringing his private, money in. So he
14
is the
billion.
best. Yeah, exactly. 14 billion, whatever it is. He's bringing that beautiful money. He's like the Monopoly guy. He's got those money bags. But he's the bank is what I would call him. These teams need cash. They're going to go for him. So if I'm on a team, the Mets have all the leverage. Why would we give up these prospects for saying, hey, you don't want to pay this guy. You don't have the money. So you're going to unload him somewhere. We're the ones that can take this contract off your hands. So yeah, we'll give you JD Davis, but we're not giving up, Brett Beatty. We're not giving up our top prospects in order to get this guy. And I really hope that the Mets, they can execute one of these trades, but they remember, hey, we still got the leverage here.